Get on the train before it leaves the station. The truth train is coming, gonna run them down, run them down.
Hello there, folks. Hi, how you doing? I wanted to get on YouTube here and talk a little bit about coronavirus, COVID-19, here in the United States, particularly because that's where I am, and in particular where I am in LA. So in this video, I want to talk about obviously some of the main goals in combating the coronavirus, which have been being talked about. Obviously the things like flattening the curve, we'll talk a little bit about that, and stuff like that. So what we want to do is slow the spread of it. And the reason why we want to do that is because in slowing the spread of it, we prevent it from overwhelming our medical personnel. And by preventing it from overwhelming our medical personnel, we don't end up putting our medical personnel in a position of having to decide, basically if two people are sick, having to decide which one has the better chance and treating that person and letting the person that is maybe not doing so well to pass on. So we don't want our medical professionals to be faced with those kinds of decisions. And that's the whole idea of social distancing and flattening the curve. And by flattening the curve, we're talking about instead of having a big, huge spike in cases, we're looking to make it a kind of a jump up cases and then a little plateau, and then done. Because if it plateaus, and it stays like that, then our medical personnel can handle it. And then it can run its course, and then it won't be such a big deal. Because once everybody's had it and gotten through it, we will have immunities to it at that point. Well, we'll have antibodies for it. It is a scary thing, though. So we do have to be concerned about some of the more vulnerable around us. Our elderly and people, with pre-existing conditions, immune system issues, and things like that. Those people are going to be the ones that are really, this is going to be a huge danger for. The rest of us also need to be careful and watch out for ourselves and take care of ourselves. But obviously, it's the most vulnerable in this that are the most at risk. So we need to keep that in mind. Having said that, people, look, you gotta stop going nuts in the stores. Look, how much toilet paper can you use? I mean, seriously, how much toilet paper can you use? And if you're only buying it to be able to sell it for a higher price, well, I'm not going to say. Anyways, that makes you a very, very special type of person. And not special in a good way. So, anyways, I think we all need to calm down. The supply chains haven't been cut. It's not like a blizzard where trucks can't roll and deliver things to stores and that sort of stuff. It's not like that. So, I mean, please, everybody, calm down. Seriously. To be able to get milk tonight, I'm having to go over to the store at midnight because that's when the delivery comes so that I can make sure I can get some milk. Come on, folks. This isn't necessary. How much milk can you really drink? I mean, and milk isn't exactly something that stays forever. I mean, it goes bad. Even in a refrigerator, it goes bad. You know what I mean? So, anyway. All right, so moving on. Everybody try to be kind. Think about the more vulnerable. They need supplies too. Right. Okay. So, now, moving on from that, I'm going to show you a little thing here from a website that shows the numbers regarding corona, then the worldwide number of cases, the worldwide number of deaths, and the worldwide number of recoveries. Obviously, these numbers are still preliminary, kind of, and that sort of thing. But obviously, the recovered number is going to be people that were diagnosed with it and recovered. So, now there may be people out there that got it and recovered from it without ever going to a hospital. That's another possibility. But anyways, the point is that the numbers are coming in where there's, out of 219 total cases so far confirmed, that there's been about 8,969 deaths. Now, that is a concerning number. But keep in mind, as I'm going to bring up as I'm showing you this clip, keep in mind, those are the numbers that are coming in from the countries that it hit them by surprise and had absolutely no chance to really prepare and do any kind of social distancing or any of that kind of stuff. And so it may be that with the proper measures in place, we will flatten the numbers out a bit, and they may come in better, with less deaths, just by the fact that if we do flatten that curve and don't overwhelm our medical personnel, that a lot less people will die. So that's always something to keep in mind. And provided that those people also have food and things and milk and, stuff to survive. Come on, folks. Let's keep those folks in mind here. I know we're all worried about ourselves too. We want to make sure that your kids are going to have, I get it. I got it. Okay. But we also have, a lot of elderly people that we just need to make sure everybody can get to the store and get some of the essential things. It's like I said, this is not like a bomb blew up all the roads, or, some kind of blizzard that's preventing trucks from rolling. It's not. The supply lines are going to still be there to deliver to the stores. Just calm down. Anyway, all right, let's move to the clips. So I just wanted to show this here, where this is from a website called worldmeters.info/coronavirus. So Worldometer is the website. Anyway, it shows where it says the total, coronavirus cases of 219,345 worldwide. And then the number of deaths being 8,969 and then the amount of people that have actually been recovered and been discharged as recovered from corona are 85,745. So I think it's interesting to look at these numbers because, yes, this is scary. Yes, it's going to be a very scary thing for a certain percentage of the population, which it looks like is somewhere between 5 and 9% of the population. I got to imagine that's mainly going to be people with conditions like immune system, weak immune systems or problems with their immune system, potentially elderly people who are, somewhat weakened, these types of things. I would imagine they're going to be in that 5 to 9%. But I think with numbers like this, and these are numbers coming in from nations who didn't have a chance to prepare and do the kind of social distancing that, now that it's getting to a lot of other places that a lot of other places are putting in the social distancing, and it looks to be being taken seriously, and we can slow, as they talk about flattening that curve, so that we can slow the spread of it as much as possible, so that our medical professionals don't get overwhelmed by the need, of so many people all at once. So that's the whole idea of social distancing, why it's important. But I think with these numbers, we can see how the serious or critical cases or the death cases are a much lower number compared to the people that are in mild condition or recovered. And with the measures we're taking to flatten that curve, I think those numbers would come down even more. So that's just my thoughts on it. So, I just think it's important to look at these numbers. I think they're important, and it helps us all to inform us that, yes, our social distancing is going to help flatten that curve, and I think that's important. Well, folks, I can tell you that LA seems to be observing the social distancing pretty well. I can tell you that usually by this point on the freeway, I'm usually in a parking lot. And you can see how freely it's moving. I'm not kidding. This is usually a parking lot right here. This freeway runs right into LAX. This freeway is always busy. And so it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to see it this clear at this time of day. It's just wow. And right now it's about 4:30 p.m. This is just bizarre to see it like this. It's eerie. Eerie is the right word for it, to see it like this. But hey, at least LA is taking it seriously, so that's a good thing. And because there's not a whole lot of traffic for them to be warning us about, a lot of the freeway, automated freeway signs are putting up messages like this one to wash your hands and stay healthy and avoid COVID-19. This was on the 17th on the way home when I saw this one. So, and you can see these freeways are just like wide open here in LA. The social distancing is being observed. That guy's an asshole. Anyway, I mean, I'm usually in a parking lot here on this part of the freeway, and like yesterday, there's usually 3 places where it usually bogs down, but like yesterday, it was pretty smooth. As you can see here, this is usually very congested, and you can see we're all just kind of sailing along here. So, it's pretty interesting, but I would say that LA is doing a very good job of observing the social distancing and not moving around or driving around or going anywhere unless they absolutely need to. At least that's the way it would appear. So here's a section where I'm usually stuck for about 25 minutes in about a 1 mile stretch, because this is usually just a straight up parking lot. I mean, it moves about 5 miles an hour, if at all, usually, and during this time of the morning anyways. And this is just, it's like I said yesterday, it's just kind of eerie to see the LA freeways this empty and open. It's, and so like I said, it really suggests that LA is really taking the social distancing pretty darn seriously, trying to stem the spread of this COVID-19, coronavirus. So interesting stuff, and I'll, obviously continue to observe some of the things that I notice. Here we are approaching the airport, folks. Okay, let me just tell you, usually in the mornings, this is absolutely mad. This is absolutely just mad in the mornings. There's nothing here. It's like, it's just eerie. It's absolutely eerie just seeing these empty freeways, especially here by the airport. I mean, this ramp is usually so backed up. This is just crazy right here. There's the airport there in the background. This is just eerie that there's just, like I said, it's just like I said that, LA has been observing the social distancing of the scene, because, there is just really a lot less cars on the road. A lot more people seem to be staying home. So this is out right in front of LAX. You can see it's a freaking ghost town. So yeah, it looks like LA is definitely doing a good job of observing the social distancing. And like I said, because there isn't much traffic, here's another one of the signs on the freeway, one of the automated signs where it's talking about maintain social distance, beat COVID-19. And a lot of the automated signs on the freeway are saying this right now. I'm on the freeways basically just going to work and home from work, and a little bit on, when I'm at work, in the work van, I drive around to some jobs and stuff. But mainly, I don't deal with crowds of people. I deal with pretty much usually very personal situations or with minimal people. I don't go to a big office, and that's one of the things that's going to be helpful in this is, people that in offices and things like that are going to be able to work from home, and instead of going into offices and passing it around to each other that way. Those are the type of things that are going to be helpful, and those type of things are going to flatten the curve, as we're all talking about, and so it's going to be very helpful. So I basically drive to work, a little bit at work, and then home from work, and I generally hit a store on the way home from work, hit the store to grab a few things, and then hit home, and then I stay in and practice the social distancing, and I don't go out and do anything that I don't need to be doing. But I did find it very interesting and wanted to share with everybody the fact that I saw the Angelinos are doing such a great job, really a phenomenal job. These freeways, trust me, folks. When I tell you, I know some of you from rural areas are like, "Oh my God, that's crazy," but trust me, you think this is crazy? It's usually much worse. I am telling you, it's usually much worse. So that's my Corona update for today. I'm pretty proud of the City of Angels, the Angelinos, and the fact that they're taking this very, very seriously. It's evident to me. I mean, eerie. I'm not kidding. It's the feeling on the freeways. It feels eerie. The fact that when there's, I'm used to such, huge amounts of traffic, and like it's just not there. And that tells me that people are really taking the social distancing seriously, and I'm glad to see that. I think it's good for everybody, and like I said, we flatten that curve, and then we keep this manageable for our medical personnel, and less people die. And that's really the goal, isn't it? We want less people, the least amount of people to die from this as possible. And the way to do that is to flatten the curve and not let it overwhelm our medical community. So, all right, folks, I will potentially come up with some more, COVID-19 or coronavirus content soon, hopefully. But I did want to share this because it was such a great thing that I was observing on the LA freeways, and the fact that Angelinos are taking it so seriously. I just wanted to share with everybody. So, all right, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and we'll see you.